The Viltrumite War is finally here, but while the galaxy is burning, the Grayson family is just trying to learn how to play nice in the dirt. Mark Grayson might be the invincible hero we all tune in for, but this week he's less of a superhero and more of a 2-month-long paperweight. But hey, while the cat's away in a coma, the mustache-wielding dad and his purple son are going back to basics. So, Invincible is back and things are getting messy. After last week's absolute bloodbath, the show decides to pull a bit of a fast one on us. We've been waiting for the Viltrumite War arc for what feels like centuries, and now that it's here, the show is mostly making us intuit the chaos through dialogue. It's a bold narrative choice, but it allows the series to focus on what it actually does best, breaking our hearts with intergenerational trauma. But first, we have to talk about the voices behind the violence. Some might say the show goes overboard with the stunt casting, but man, they really hit the nail on the head this week. We get the legend himself, Peter Cullen, yes, Optimus Prime, bellowing, "Let the war begin," as the coalition leader Thetis. It's rousing, it's iconic, it's everything you want. But on the flip side, you have a Lee Pace as Grand Regent Thragg. Now, if you're a comic reader, you probably expected Thragg to sound like a garbage disposal full of gravel, booming and gurgling, but Pace goes the other way. He's subdued, he's icy, his quiet delivery makes you lean forward in terrified anticipation, and honestly, that's a masterstroke of casting. It's just a shame he didn't get more of it before the credits rolled. While the war is being discussed in war rooms, our favorite gaming buddies Alan and Zoe are stowing away on a Viltrum vessel like a couple of technological barnacles. They eventually make it to the stronghold of Telescria with the help of Space Racer and his Infinity Ray gun, which, side note, I definitely need one of those for the office. They're joined by the feline wrecking crew known as Battle Beast, and we dive headfirst into a classic Invincible montage. Now, I love a good propulsive beat, and the track Do You Feel Me by Oliver Tree and Wethin is a bop, but it felt a little breezy. We're talking about a galactic conflict spread across dozens of planets, and the music is giving Sunday morning at the skate park. However, it did fit the other half of the montage, the growing bond between Nolan and Oliver on a desert planet. See, Mark's grisly injuries gave this father-son duo some much-needed downtime to actually get to know each other. And boy, is it a bumpy ride. Nolan is still wrestling with his sentimental connections to Viltrumite culture, evidenced by him burying Conquest's body, and Oliver is acting as his moral compass. Did you catch that moment with the space lizard eggs? Nolan is ready to kill a mother insect just for a quick protein fix for Mark, but Oliver, the kid who used to be the most vicious one in the room, begs for mercy. Well, he uses a utilitarian excuse about the insect laying more eggs later, but it's a start. Words are one thing, but actually making Nolan confront the consequences of his actions, that's character growth, baby. This quiet downtime reminds me a lot of the Damien Darkblood episodes from season 1, but it's much more proficient at externalizing the emotional dilemmas. By stripping the setting down to a rural base camp, the show breaks the nuclear family down to its prehistoric essentials, survival. It forces Nolan to be a father to Oliver in every way that matters, including training him to fight. By the time Mark finally wakes up, the two have actually built a harmonious rapport. They even go fishing. It's wholesome, it's weird, and it's almost certainly not going to last. Because while the Graysons are bonding, the war is still knocking at the door. The actual face of the war has been mostly gestures and dialogue so far, and honestly, it's hard not to wonder if this conflict deserved its own entire episode. But once the Viltrumites attack Telescria directly, the scales finally even out. The Coalition takes some heavy losses, but once the Grayson boys arrive, the Viltrumites are sent running with their tails between their legs, and we finally unmasked the mole. It turns out it was one of the unassuming data workers from earlier in the season. This subplot hasn't exactly been a Gravity Falls level mystery. It played out their scant, disconnected references, but its discovery leads Tapetus to a plan that is either brilliant or borderline suicidal, taking the fight directly to planet Viltrum. As always, the episode ends on a massive note of anticipation. We even got a little creepy stinger teasing the return of Conquest. The camera creeps up on the grave, the music gets foreboding, and then silence. The big man is resting for now, which gives Mark and our heart rates a much-needed break. The Viltrumite War is an uneven ride so far, but the father-son drama continues to be the real emotional selling point of the series. By going back to basics with Nolan and Oliver, the show sets the stage for a climax that's going to be absolutely stellar.